One of the reasons for this turnaround is Sam Dutton.
Yes.
Like you look at the impact Auburn has. I mean, it was an adventure last year, even on Fridays, right? To try to get a starter to go a couple of innings, and they made some changes with who the Friday starter was. This year, they've had Sam Dutton ready to go.
And we talked about Dutton the last time you were in here, but yeah, like it's that luxury to have him out there, knowing that you're hosting Supers this weekend. That's got to be crazy.
And I think the biggest sigh of relief in it all was, I think we would have talked about this some on the last pod, but like his last 2 starts of the regular season they were out of character. He didn't go more than 4 innings in either of them, and he got tacked for I think it was 14 earned runs on 16 hits. Just did not look like him. And the point that eventually got made was up to that point, he pitched more in one spring at Auburn than he did in 3 years at LSU.
Wow.
And so he winds up not pitching in the SEC tournament. They get bounced early, and so he went, I want to say it was 16 days between his last start and his start in the regional last week. And, again, it was not perfect last weekend against Stetson. I think he gave up 5 earned runs in the end. And I will say 2 of those weren't till, the very last, kind of couple batters he faced. But I think the biggest thing is he returned to form in the sense that he gave them length, which is I think the most vital thing he does. He eats up innings. He puts the ball in the strike zone. It'll get put in play. And
he wasn't blowing people away with the velo,
right?
Even when he was at his most effective.
He never really has.
Season.
I think his fastball and kind of he's got a 4-seam and a 2-seam mix, and then he's got kind of a cutter that moves a little bit more like kind of a slider. But that's where he gets the bulk of his velo. But a lot of it's low 90s, and he's managed to implement. It's really kind of this curveball that sits really low velo, but kind of in the rundown of his arsenal, it makes a difference.
Yeah, I was really concerned after my concern after the 2 bumpy starts at the end of the season for Dutton is the velocity down? Is there a sign that maybe there's something wrong?
Wearing out.
Yeah, is there something structurally wrong with the shoulder or the elbow or something here at the end?
Or just running out of gas.
Is he hitting the wall? And the idea that it was more command and results than actually how he was pitching, or actually, the velocity, like that was, and then to see more of a return to form in regional play. I mean, this is a gigantic start on Friday night, but it feels like Auburn likes who they're sending to the mound.
Well, and you were talking about length. I think the one thing that caught me the few times I checked, I was keeping an eye on stuff because following along with coverage. Live tweeting and stuff like that at the game. But there were a couple of times during the regional where I was actually in a room where the game was being played on TV, and I remember looking up that NC State final where it was they're throwing dudes in with 12 ERAs because they have to.
Yeah.
Because you had to eat so many pitchers, you had so many arms you had to use just to get to that point. Whereas Auburn got to play from in front the whole time, and Dutton's part of that because if your starter can at least give you something, it doesn't have to be perfect, but. Having that distance can help you a lot in this postseason format,
right? And it was interesting to look at the weekend stats after the regional, and some of it's inevitable of just